Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, an upcoming strategy and tactical war game that looks at the American Civil War and that attempts to merge both a strategic grand campaign and tactical battles, as well as offering at least 10 historical tactical battles that you can fight. Now, over the last few days, I've been focusing on some of the tactical battles, the Battle of Antietam, the Battle of Perryville, but I did want to go ahead and give the campaign another look. Now, this is a beta build of the game, so it is not yet even available in early access. The game is coming out on early access in a couple of weeks. I believe it's August 21st, so about 11 days from now. But the 1861 campaign, which I think is the really interesting well, they probably are both interesting, but it's the one that interests me the most, which is sort of the outbreak of war and the states sliding into the Confederacy that haven't already declared by February of 1861. That campaign isn't really quite ready. The state of the campaign AI is to a point where asking it to build an army from scratch from the ground up is a bit much. So we're actually going to go ahead and start with the 1862 campaign. So we did look at the 1861 campaign in my first look video. You can check that out if you're interested. But we're going to go ahead and play the 1862 campaign, where armies are already in the field, and we are looking at the March of 1862 scenario. We are going to play as the Union, because I think if the AI is not totally up to snuff yet, it makes more sense for us to be the ones driving the action. You can see here in this campaign, the morale of the Union is still pretty strong at 85, the Confederacy's at 90, the Union's at 20 experience, the Confederates at 25, so they've had a little bit more experience, perhaps a little bit more success in some of the major battles on the Eastern Front in 61, although the battles of Fort Donaldson and Fort Henry have already been fought, and Nashville is already in Union control. You can see here the Union has 266,000 soldiers under arms, the Confederacy 127,000, 190 Union ships already in service versus only 70 Confederates. We've already taken Fort Hatteras Inlet. We've taken several important islands in the Gulf to help enforce the blockade. Fort Sumter is obviously still in Confederate hands, however. I believe these are all the different battles that have been fought since the start of the war here on this map, and you can see where the victories are for each side. You got Manassas as the Confederates, you've got Hatteras Inlet for the Union, Fort Sumter for the Confederates, Fort Donaldson and Nashville for the Union, Wilson's Creek for the Confederates. So I believe that's how that's tallied up. But with that being said, we're going to maybe bump up the aggressiveness for the AI. The Confederates should be on the defensive, so we'll leave it at 1. We're going to go with the historic policies, which are similar to the 1861 campaign: Underground Railroad, Kansas Free State, industrialization. I guess they're all the same. And let's go ahead and start a new one. I love these colorized photos, by the way, that you get on the loading screens. They look great. At least I'm assuming they're colorized photos. I suppose they could actually be reenactors that are turned back to look old-timey. Lionhearted does a lot of reenactment footage, so maybe that's what it actually is. I'm not sure. Either way, they look gorgeous. So we'll probably just jump into the campaign, see, the situation and how it compares to 62, see what our current economy and other things are set up as, and then we'll go from there. But we may not get into a battle in this very first turn. It's really about getting our feet underneath us in the campaign, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so it's given us the Chapter 2 intro, sort of the Dogs of War are unleashed or whatnot. I can't remember what the Demon of War is unleashed. So it's going to give us that little intro by Lionheart Studios. I'm going to go ahead and skip through it. I will say real quick, guys, I will probably start doing 2 videos per day on the channel for a little while. One video is going to be focused in on Grand Tactician. Another video will be focused in on whatever else I'm covering at the time. I haven't streamed in the last few days. We had some personal stuff that was going on in my world that prevented me from streaming over the weekend or anything like that. But I will probably be streaming tonight, Monday night at around 9:30 Central Time, I imagine. I'm looking at a new game that's about to come out. It's called We the People, which is almost like a Soviet Union or like Soviet bloc state where you're like the mayor of an industrial town. It looks really interesting. It's a fictional country, but that seems to be the vibe. I haven't really played it much, but I'm really interested in playing it, so I'll probably be streaming it on my Twitch tonight, and we'll continue posting Grand Tactician videos as well daily, so we'll probably be having about 2 videos coming out per day for a little while. I'll probably post one in the morning around 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then maybe one in the afternoon around 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. We'll see what makes the most sense, but you'll see that content stepping up a bit. So let's go ahead and skip through this. All right, so we've got the nice little field book. We'll get rid of that. You can see Civil War. Lincoln vows to quell the rebellion. Volunteers flood city halls. Confederate armies are on the move. Europeans are reluctant to take sides, and the demon of war has awoken. Okay, it's March 4th, 1862. Go ahead and pause here. So you can see here, here's the strategic map. It's the historical Confederacy, although Tennessee is probably somewhat occupied already. And then we've got various ships and squadrons already off the coast of the Confederacy here. So that's good to see. We've got the blockade underway. If we zoom in here to this map, I should have turned that back off. But you can see here, if we zoom in, we've got squadrons off of the James River, the blockading squadron of the North Atlantic, and I guess it's 14 ships, 63 guns. And then we've also got the Worden's command of 0 ships. But it says 14 here. I don't understand that. Meanwhile, we've got Rowan's command further south, 1 ship, 2 guns off the Outer Banks. But we've also taken Fort Hatteras. You can see if we zoom down here, we've taken the Fort Hatteras. So we've got the Coastal Division here under Ambrose Burnside, 8,300 soldiers. And we've got a battery of artillery here at Fort Hatteras. The Confederates obviously might want to try and run the blockade, but at least right now that's helping us reinforce the blockade. We also have the North Atlantic, another blockading squadron, 21 ships, 264 guns just off the coast of North Carolina here, just north of Wilmington. We have another squadron further south, 19 ships, 166 guns. It looks like we've got the South Atlantic blockading squadron, 17 ships, 124 guns in front of Savannah down there. Man, there's a lot of blockading squadrons all over here. 11 ships, 57 guns. Nassau is marked as Confederate, or maybe it's neutral. I'm assuming this is where the Confederates go to run the blockade to try and get arms and weapons and whatnot. We've also taken islands in the Florida Keys, the Fort Tyler garrison, the Dry Tortugas garrison at Fort Jefferson. There's a squadron in the Gulf, the Eastern Gulf Squadron, 16 ships. The squadron just off Mobile Bay, the mortar flotilla of 20 ships, 60 guns. David Dixon Porter in command. And then we've got the Western Gulf blockading squadron, 22 ships, 289 guns. And they're located just south of the mouth of the Mississippi. So we presumably want to move up the Mississippi. We've got the Confederate garrison of Fort Jackson down here at the southern tip. And then there's the New Orleans squadron of Confederate warships, and then there's New Orleans itself. I don't know if I have any troops in the area to support the actual landing. I'm not even really sure how to send troops on transports, but New Orleans is something we should be taking before too long. I think historically it fell in April. It looks like we've made a little bit of progress in the Gulf, and that we've taken Fort Massachusetts down here, which helps to close off the Lake Pontchartrain blockade runners, presumably, by closing the mouth here. But we do need to take Fort Jackson if we really want to shut the Mississippi to Confederate traffic, as well as if there's anything over west here. It doesn't look like it. There's a Brasher City that we might want to take, but probably just taking New Orleans and Baton Rouge are the key to closing the Mississippi to Confederate commerce. You can see here right now the Union has a slight advantage in terms of the war. You can see if we zoom in toward northern Virginia, we've got a couple of armies in the field. There's a Confederate army under Jackson up here in the valley. The Army of Virginia is down here. Meanwhile, where's the Army of the Potomac? Where are you at, boys? I don't see you. I don't see it all. Oh, Army of the Potomac right here under General George Brinton McClellan. 98,000 men, 7,803 are in parentheses, 10,892 are disabled, 215 guns, so about an effective strength of 88,000 men. Readiness is deficient, intelligence is excellent, condition is good, training is poor. So keep training those boys, McClellan. You've got a little bit of experience, not a lot, but a little bit of experience. You've fought in the West Virginia campaign there successfully. We also have a corps that's opposite of Jackson here to the west. It is part of the Army of the Potomac. It's under Nathaniel Banks, about 17,000 troops. Banks should have his own portrait, I feel like. The Third Corps over here under Samuel Heintzelman, who was a commander that I always felt like got a little bit of a short shrift. He got removed pretty quickly for not really doing that badly, I feel like, is over here to the west at Frederick, Maryland. The Second Corps under Edwin Sumner is over here just to the east near the McHenry garrison near Baltimore. We've got The Army of the Potomac headquarters is at Baltimore. Baltimore, really? The First Corps is over here under Irwin McDowell, 22,000 men just across the Potomac. So you can see here a very strong Union force in Maryland and near D.C. If we move west, we can see here that that Kentucky is firmly in the Union now. We've kicked all the Confederates out. The Confederates do have the Army of East Tennessee just past the Cumberland Gap. We have the 7th Division under George Moraine of about 7,000 men facing off against them. Meanwhile, if we move into central Tennessee, we've got additional forces here. We've got the Army of the Ohio under Don Carlos Buell, about 18,000 men. I'm assuming most of those are in Nashville. To the west, we have the Army of Tennessee under General Grant, about 40,000 men, and that's just between Fort Henry and Fort Donaldson there. The Confederates, meanwhile, looks like they have some troops further south. It looks like the First Corps might be near Jackson, Tennessee. There's other elements of the Confederate Army that look like they're down south in Mississippi near Corinth, and also forces near Memphis. Looks like the 2nd Confederate Corps might be south of Corinth. The 1st Confederate Corps is up near Jackson. And then if we look here, we can see the river. We control the river as far south as wherever this Mississippi squadron is here. Cairo, Illinois? That's it? There's 2 batteries here. There's McCown's Battery and Stewart's Division along the Mississippi, as well as the Mississippi River Squadron. We have our own river gunboats, 13 ships, 133 guns. Most of them look like they are river-clad. So you've got the USS Pittsburgh, which is an ironclad gunboat, steamship, sea and rivers, 13 guns. The Mound City, the Louisville. These are all historical ships, so it's good to see that. It looks like they've got the Mississippi Squadron pretty close to reality. They've also got Captain Andrew Foote, who is Flag Officer Foote. He is a Commodore, in effect, on the Mississippi River as well. And then we've got the Army of the Ohio under John Pope, infamous John Pope, 18,000 men located at Cairo as well. If we swing further west, we've got troops near somewhere. Where are they? Is there no army in St. Louis? The Fort Wyman garrison. I don't see any army in St. Louis. That's interesting. So yeah, that's a thing. All right, so that's the situation there. There's Confederate forces in Arkansas as well, Army of the West. Fort Gibson is, where is that? What state is this? Oklahoma. And then we've got some troops in Kansas near Lawrence, but it's just a garrison. So that's the situation in the war right now. Meanwhile, why do we have troops up on the border with the Brit? There's a British fort, by the way. So someone's asking me if British units are represented in the game. I'm going to guess they are, because there's a garrison here of a total garrison capacity of 15,000 men. There's 125,000 troops at Amherst in Canada. So I'm guessing if it represents Canadian fortresses and things like that, that the game has the possibility to actually fight the Europeans rather than just get an automatic game over if you lose. Again, you've got British icons here at Port Colborne. You've got British icons up here near Saint-Jean. I don't even know how you pronounce that. St. Jean, and that's it. I guess I thought I saw a wider name. But that's the situation there. Trying to see if there's any additional forces there that we want to see if we can relocate. Doesn't look like it. So these are our forces. We also have some troops on Fort Monroe. Are they fighting over here? Are they shooting at Fort Monroe? Let's unpause. Why is Fort Monroe on fire? Doesn't say they're shooting at anything. It looks like it's on fire. But I mean, it doesn't. Oh shit, there's Confederate troops on the move. The Army of the Peninsula is marching somewhere. And the James River Squadron is heading down the river. Do we have any ironclads anywhere in here? Is Warden's Command the Monitor? No, it's the Benton, which is steamship, ironclad, river gunboat. But it doesn't say there's any ships. What about the North Atlantic Squadron? Valley City, Henry Brinker, Underwater, Ryder, Stars and Stripes, Southfield, Philadelphia, Morse, Louisiana. These all look like river gunboats. Or tenders or something. What's this? Potomac Flotilla. Okay. Well, I don't want to just get blasted by Confederate ships. Let's pause here for a second. So let's go ahead and see. So currently, the strategic situation, McClellan's in charge for us. Joseph E. Johnson is for the Confederates. You can see here morale of the armies, national morale, blah, 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 men fielded, Navy tonnage, military experience, battles won, 20 to 15, really, okay. Unions won more battles. Total casualties, the Confederacy lost 82,257 versus the Union 35,820, really? European relations, 44 for the Confederates, 12 for the Union. Okay. Apparently we've captured Wheeling, Nashville, Alexandria, and Arizona territory was captured by the Confederacy. So the Union objectives are more varied than the 1861 campaign. Break Confederate morale, that's 1. Capture Richmond, that's 2. Invade the Confederacy, that's 3. I feel like we've already done that, but anyway. Win our first major battle, we haven't done that yet, and I don't know what counts as a major battle. Maintain support above 60, capture 10 forts, West Virginia, I guess that would be control West Virginia to allow it to join the Union, cut the Confederacy in half, which would be the Mississippi, win 3 consecutive land battles, win 3 consecutive naval battles, and win a major land battle. I thought we already had win a major land battle. Oh, win first major battle. Okay, so it could be naval too. So those are our objectives. If we go ahead and we take a look at the military page here, here's the Army of the Southwest under Samuel B. Curtis. Where is that located anyway? Is there a way to go there? Okay. Do we have the Ironclad anywhere? Do we have the Monitor? Is she in port or where is she? Third-rate steamer, second-rate steamer. There's so many ships! Steam sloop, double-ender. I don't know what a double-ender is. Frigates. The Ironclad, Eastport. She's only 10% ready. Gunboats, barks. Where is the stupid Monitor? Does it not exist yet? Whatever. All right, so officers, we've got a lot of officers, a lot of major generals and stuff. Let's go to the finances screen. So, wow, that diverged bigly. The Union has a lot more money. Well, that's safe to say. The unemployment is 8.4%. The economy is in recovery. What does that mean? The economic cycle doesn't really tell me. Okay. Policies. So we've got 6 out of 8 policies that we're using. We can use 2 more. So I'm actually going to go with breadbasket. That helps improve relations with the British. So I want to make sure that we do that. We've already also had a lot of these military policies chosen for us to this point. But I'm going to go with diplomacy number 2, again, to work on relations with the British and see if we can't improve that stuff. Meanwhile, you can see here down here, we've already got 36-month recruits. We haven't yet passed the draft, but that's the next step in the military policies. The confiscation has been passed, so that allows us to seize Confederate cotton. We have not yet recruited colored troops. That is something that we will be allowed to do to recruit United States colored troops so that we can get some perhaps freed slaves or just freed black Americans in our ranks. We haven't gone to bounties yet, but obviously that's because we haven't gone there. We also have not yet done the Emancipation Proclamation, which we should do soon, I think. But we probably need to win a victory, right? Production. Seems like things are going well. All upward arrows, at least. Wait, there's 2 sieges. So this is artillery production? Or no, cost of artillery. Real quick here, we've got a siege. Where is this? Fort Washington. It says we have a 50% chance of victory. This is near Alexandria, Virginia. Really, the Army of the Potomac's coming after us? The Battle of Manassas is also occurring. What troops do I have down by Manassas? Do my generals send troops on their own? What are you guys doing, McClellan? Send reinforcements. I've never done a siege battle. Oh, wait. Pea Ridge and Manassas are two different sieges. So the Army of the Southwest is over here. Is there a way to fight it? There's also a naval battle going on. Union invasion 7. Okay. I guess these battles will just occur. I think sieges and fort battles just occur outside of your control. Wish there was a way to clearly tell me what I was doing. I'm going to bring the 3rd Corps under Heinzelmann down here. I'm also going to order the 2nd Corps under Sumner also to head down to Manassas. We'll wait on the 1st Corps. It's probably close enough that it would already be engaged. Why this isn't Manassas, though? $61,000 men under Johnston, huh? We'll also send the 4th Corps south here. James River Squadron still heading south toward Fortress Monroe. The Army of the Peninsula is right off coast here. So what is the odds of this one? The Battle of Cold Harbor? Does it give me a percentage chance? They're all 50% chances of victory. $17,000 troops under the Army of the West versus just 9,500 troops under the Union here. Do we auto-resolve? I guess we'll do it. We'll auto-resolve that battle. I don't know why this would count as the Battle of Manassas. That seems weird. Doesn't look like I get an option to fight this battle, though. Although these guys are coming into conflict. What's going on? Naval bombardments. James River Squadron against the Fort Monroe garrison. So the Confederates have come up trying to bombard us up here. Now, I can't fight this one. They have 5 ships, 25 guns. My own troops are at 61% supplies. Their ammunition is being used up a little bit. But they're fighting back here. We'll have to see how that unfolds. Confederate invasions. Jackson's Corps is invading. So they're getting a little aggressive, are they? Jackson's swinging west toward Pittsburgh? What's he doing over there? I guess we'll have to send the 5th Corps under Banks to deal with him. They've taken Cumberland for the Confederacy. We'll send that corps over that way. So the Confederacy is much more active in this campaign than they were in the 1861 campaign. Can see more bombardment occurring over here. Can't really tell how it's going. 4,500 men. How large is the Army of the Peninsula? 11,000. Why do the Confederates outnumber me in every one of these points? I'm not going to assault the enemy. James River Squadron. They're down to 4 ships, so they've already lost 1 ship in this bombardment on Fort Monroe. That feels suicidal. Meanwhile, it looks like they're sending Hill's Corps to reinforce the assault on Fortress Monroe. My own troops are coming down to reinforce. I mean, I want to assault these guys. That should give me the option, right? I'm going to move the first corps as well. So we're going to have like 4 corps coming down here. A chance for a major battle against the Confederacy near Alexandria. Apparently it's snowing. It looks like there's some snowflakes occurring. French invasion. General Lorenz's lands with his troops. Where? Napoleon III to conquer Mexico. French invasion of Mexico is underway. Okay, I don't really care about that. Are they on the map, though? That's what I want to know. I can't remember if the map goes that far south. Well, it's down here. It's green. Interesting. I wonder if they can come up. Let's swing this way. All right. So, is this red line represent where Jackson's going? It looks like it. So he's moving west. Looks like he might be trying an invasion of eastern Ohio. The bastard! Meanwhile, there's troops moving from Sparta down this way. Confederates have consolidated 2 corps south of Fort Henry and Donaldson. They have 12,000 men here, 8,000 men there. The Army of the Mississippi is about 35,000 strong against the Army of Tennessee under Grant. Well, it looks like they're only going to fight against 8,000 Confederates. I'll fight that battle. All right, so we're going to see our first tactical battle. Now, I don't think the random battle generator is in yet, so it might be throwing us on like a historical battlefield. I'm not sure about that, but I know that is something that, like, if you're fighting a place where they don't have battles mapped, then you'll generate a random battle. If you fight a battle in a place where there was a battle that's modeled in the game that's a historical battlefield, then you'll see the historical battlefield that you fight on. So I think it depends, but let's see how this plays out. Deploy your forces for the battle. When finished, press play. Right, our army will vigorously attack the enemy in the region of Tennessee. We're facing the Army of Mississippi under Albert Sidney Johnston with a strength of 36,000 men. The enemy army is green and morale is reported to be eager. Reports indicate their supply situation is outstanding. The supply state of our state is our army's outstanding. 100, 38 versus 31. They've got way more cavalry than we do. They even have more artillery. They got more sick, though, too. General Grant is better than General Johnston. Maybe less famous, though. I'll give him that, at least at this stage of the war. All right, get rid of that headquarters stuff. How do I deploy my men? Okay. Are we on the defensive? That's what I kind of feel like. I can't deploy him past this edge of the map? That feels weird. Why? So I can deploy oh, that's the 2nd Brigade. I can deploy these guys like out to the edge of this map by the looks of it. But these are positions I've already taken. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it super high level. Not micromanagey at all. General Grant, put the army here. In column formation, of course. Near the turnpike. I love this map style. At least the art style. So there you can see General Grant and his 40,000 men, all concentrated and intact. We can zoom in here and we can see the different divisions and we can be ready. Although what's the point of deploying it if I'm stuck on this northern portion of the map? I don't get that. In any event, press play. Deployment's done. I think. All right. The clock is running. All right, so the Confederates have apparently taken these turnpikes. I don't quite understand it. I don't get why they get to be there and we don't. But in any event, we're going to send one division here. We're going to send one division here. So we're going to send, I guess, one division on each of these objectives, facing the enemy, of course, rotating our forces here. We're also going to send one division between them on McFadden's Ford. And then we will deploy 3 divisions down south near the Murfreesboro Pike. This might be, is this a historical battlefield? It's certainly, the topographical looks real. All right, so we're going to deploy our army in 2 wings, 20,000-ish each. Let's go ahead and get the men moving. Let's get the boys moving. All right, so the divisions are underway. You can see the army in this lovely field. I mean, this doesn't feel like a... I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not sure what all the maps look like. General Grant, get your boys moving. What are these assigned to? All right, so some of the artillery is assigned. All right, let's get the boys moving. Times 10, till you run into something. I know I said I wasn't going to be fighting a battle tonight, but I think we'll at least be starting. Meanwhile, you can see here there's 2 Confederate objectives they're taking along this roadway. There's their deployment sector. Ours was way up here in the north. We've got a nice river here that runs through the Stones River. So maybe this is because Stones River, I didn't remember that being one of the tactical battles, but that could be why we're fighting on Stones River. Although I don't think that's really where our troops were. Our troops are further north. But you can see here our troops are moving out. We also have apparently some independent units. So we'll move them. They kind of form a reserve of sorts. I love this map. I believe the developer actually told me they were all handmade. All right, so once we take these 2 objectives, then I'm going to move the divisions across, round Forest, and then probably stretch one out over here to the right to move 3 divisions south between these 2 rivers. Meanwhile, I'll swing one of the divisions across from the Murfreesboro Pike so that we're kind of hemming in, and we'll put one down here by the Stones River Bridge, just to the east of Murfreesboro. So one of the turnpikes is lost. I think that's over here. All right, so our troops are moving into position. Keep it up, boys. We'll move out here to round Forest. Move these boys into this wood line. And then we'll move the 4th Division out to the right here toward this hill. So we're going to try and take these heights overlooking this objective, whatever this is, the Ashbury Courthouse or something. So we'll send these troops this way. We're also going to swing the 2nd Division south here to take this objective. So I'm kind of spreading my troops out. I don't really know if I should be doing this. You know, should I just be going for the objectives, or should I be finding where the Confederates are? Probably be better off finding where the Confederates are. Oh, we found them. We found them. Here they come, boys. All right, move the 6th Division up here toward this crossing. Hopefully they don't get in behind our flank. You can see here they're moving south. Looks like they're turning to face us. So Sherman's division, let's slow things up a bit. Sherman's division's detected a large Confederate force to his front as he's trying to get into position near Round Forest. Meanwhile, we're going to bring Not him. We're going to bring Prentice's division, I think of what do you call it? What was that? The Hornet's Nest at Shiloh Fame, I think. Bring him across near Widow James, so he'll be exactly on the flank of this Confederate position. And then we're going to bring the 1st Division under McClellan up to support Sherman in these woods, so he'll be on Sherman's flank. Meanwhile, that other division that was going out wide toward that other objective will continue heading that way. And Wallace's division will cross here as well. So we're still spreading our troops out, probably more than we should. But Prentice and Wallace are going to be advancing across parallel roads. And this may not be the entire Confederate force either. The one exposed division is Wallace, who's going to kind of be out here on his own, which feels very much like in Shiloh, where he just got lost. All right, so Confederate skirmishers are engaging our artillery by the looks of it. Our artillery drove them off. We lost a few casualties in the process, though. We should move the 2nd Brigade over this way to support the artillery on the flank. We'll move the 3rd Brigade out front here into the woods. The 1st Brigade will stack up on this flank in the open. So they are trying to crush our left by the looks of it. They've got 2 divisions coming, or 2 brigades coming down here. So we're going to send some troops to meet them into open fields. You are the 1st Brigade in the affections of your general. I like to say that a lot. All right, so we've got another division coming up here in the woods. To the right, you can see we've got a lot of troops moving around and deploying. Our infantry is engaging the enemy. They got there first. Why is this division not moving? This brigade not moving yet? All right, so they're trying to drive our infantry in the open back here. Our artillery is booming off quite a few pieces. The 3rd Brigade, meanwhile, has moved in to support the 1st. Sorry, not the 1st. Whatever the first one that was engaged. We've moved the 1st Brigade up onto the flank of the artillery to support. The artillery's taking some volley fire to its front. It's not going to survive there long. Let's move these guys up. Fifth Division. Didn't I have a 2nd Division coming that way? Where's the commander of this division over here? So Sherman, you're over this way. Your division's taking some casualties. McClellan, get into position, damn you. Move. Grant, meanwhile, is riding away with the 4th Division. Just riding out that way. All right, so our troops look to be holding. It looks like we've shattered Stuart. 2 enemy brigades have been shattered and are routing by the looks of it. Getting that infantry into that open field engagement just in time so that our artillery could be behind some cover, I think, was critical. Now these Confederate units are out in the open, exposed to canister fire, eating close-range artillery. Not sure if friendly fire is modeled or not. Meanwhile, we've got another division that's coming in on the Confederate flank. You can see a whole nother division of theirs is ready to deploy. We've got Prentice moving his troops up. We'll get onto some of this high ground, hopefully. Some of this is low, but it looks like the entire position to their front is a little bit elevated. So I'm not sure that's going to play a huge advantage for us. Let's bring this battery of artillery that I think is reserve artillery for it as well. We'll bring these troops. I should not have spread my army out so much. I'm so broken up and divided, and I should really bring forward these troops. So if they have 20,000 men against us, it looks like Sherman has held his ground. They've been pushed back. Sherman lost about 184 men, so not too bad. His troops still look like they're in pretty good shape. The artillery's still firing off. I'm not going to move them at the moment. Sherman's got about 6,000 men. We've got about 5,000 of McLaren, so that's about 12,000 men between the 6,600 and the 5,600. Another 6,000 are coming up here under Prentiss on the Confederate flank. So that gives us about 18,000 men, maybe just shy of 19,000 men. I really need to get Hubert's division in action here. We'll get these guys into these woods just right away, because that'll give us the edge in numbers. McLaren, you're asking to get your flank turned. So what you're going to do is you're going to form up here and establish your flank on Sherman there. So you've kind of got a little bit of a line. I want to realign Sherman's troops a bit, but I want to wait for Prentiss to get up into action. I think the tactical situation does favor us. Confederates are going to be in a little bit of a bind, and then I'm going to bring up Wallace's division of 6,400 men, so that we might be able to catch the Confederates in a little bit of a tough spot here. Meanwhile, I'm going to order Wallace's... Is this Wallace? Sorry. Yeah, that's Wallace. Who's over here? They're both Wallace. William Wallace. Freedom! All right, we're going to bring William Wallace's troops up here. The first day's battle. That's a nice little flavor text there. All right, so we're going to bring this other Wallace up here to take the turnpike, meanwhile to secure the flank of Lew Wallace, who's going to come up here, author of Ben-Hur, famous novel you might not have heard of. We'll bring up Wood's brigade as well to kind of act as a reserve. And then some of this artillery as well. I wish there was a better way to cancel orders. There's not a way. I can't find a good way to cancel orders. All right. Meanwhile, this other division is coming up. They've taken the Ashbury Courthouse or whatever it's called. Ooh, they're turning our flank, or they're trying. My troops are falling back. Oh, yeah, I issued orders to refuse their line. So they are pulling back, I think, at a slightly more defensible terrain or positions here, still in the wood line. Meanwhile, 2 Confederate brigades have come up on... Who is this brigade here in the woods? They've come up on a 3rd brigade under Jesse Hildebrand. Meanwhile, I've got a bunch of artillery firing in support, but I don't know how good that is with the enemy in the woods. We are going to bring forward the 2nd brigade to try and fire into these enemy flank. This enemy flank. I know I said I wasn't going to micromanage. This probably counts as micromanaging, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring those 2 brigades forward. I'm also going to bring the 4th brigade forward as well to back up these troops that are getting hit in the front. They've kind of acted a little bit as a reserve. We're also bringing forward an independent brigade under Wood across the river, and they will act as a new reserve for our formation. And now we've got 3 brigades in line formation here. That should be in pretty good shape, although these 2 enemy brigades could be coming up on their flank. All right. 4th brigade, you go engage them. Enemy will expose their flank to our artillery. They're either going to expose their flank to our infantry or expose their flank to our artillery. This should be a bad deal for them. They are in wooded terrain, so that might help a little bit. But they're facing our artillery here. It doesn't look like they're really shooting and damaging them at all, though. Meanwhile, Sherman's riding to the front to support his troops in glorious action. How's the 4th Brigade taking no casualties yet? Well, that can't be any more, right? Yeah, they're in melee now. Meanwhile, these 2 brigades are firing into the rebel flank over here. Prentiss should be coming up just about now. All right, Prentiss. Bring your boys forward. There's a large enemy battery of artillery over here in the open, though. That might be asking for trouble if we try and cross them. Meanwhile, Lew Wallace... Why are you hanging back, Lew? Boyo? What you doing back there, boyo? Maybe the orders aren't coming to you. You're too far away from Grant, perhaps. Wait, why is there a rebel brigade in our rear? Oh, it's a routed brigade. We don't care about them. I think they need to work on pathing for broken units a little bit better. Alright, so we're engaged in this wood line. These troops, they've got good melee. Their cohesion is intact. They're well rested. They've got a bunch of situations here. Their commander bonus. They've got a... I can't read that one. They've got outflanked, apparently. I guess there are troops on their right. But they've also got routed units nearby. Enemy routed units, I assume. And first battle experience, which is a negative trait for them. They've taken 400 casualties. Yikes. I tell them to charge. Charge, my lads! Move forward with the bayonet. Send those orders. Sherman, you send them. And you can see the courier riding off. Riding off in... Oh, the enemy's routing already. Alright, well, we drove that brigade back. Good news for us is we've routed at least 3 enemy brigades. We have not lost a brigade of our own. You can see the enemy is trying to stack up on our flank. These troops in the wood line here under McLaren are holding their position. Jackson's brigade here was routed. Prentiss is hopefully advancing, although I'm wondering if he's not moving as quickly or if Wallace is kind of frozen in place to some extent because of the distance from Grant. I wonder if the orders to all division commanders, just like you saw from Sherman issuing an order to his regiment, if that rider has to go all the way around to get to him, or might ride down turnpikes and not be, you know, the scouts might be killed or something like that. Meanwhile, the 4th Division, Hulbert's division, is moving into position on the flank of these Rebs. So far, it's a minor victory by the looks of it. But Grant's tactitional brilliance, I don't think that's a word, is coming in strong here. Tactical brilliance? Tactitional. Making up words. Wallace, why did you stop? I didn't order you to stop ever, I don't think. Looks like they're moving a division back. Maybe they've spotted Wallace. Maybe they've spotted the threat to their flank under Prentiss. But I'm just waiting for Prentiss to move. Feels just like a real battle, eh? All right, Sherman. You can probably move your troops now. You know, the one thing I will say is I wish, when I issued an order to my command, I wish there'd be an option like just issue order to infantry or just to artillery. Like, I think I could detach the artillery, but I don't want to have to do that. So I'd really like the option to just order my infantry forward. My artillery might just want to stay in place. Meanwhile, the 1st Brigade is under Colonel Abram Hare. It looks like their commander is wounded in action. The Rebs have come up real close here. These troops have lost over 400 men. Heavy losses in the 1st Brigade. We'll move the 3rd Brigade here to turn its flank and engage Bowen in the flank. It doesn't look like they were engaged previously. We're going to move these units accordingly. So I am micromanaging now, I will admit. It is official. Meanwhile, Grant is riding to the sound of the guns, finally. So this new division here arriving under Hubert. Hubert is arriving to engage the enemy. These 3 brigades under him, Lauman, Nelson's coming up here, and we've got Veach. I mean, I can only assume the Confederates are moving these troops under Johnson north here to respond to the threat of Prentiss or Wallace, but both those divisions are not moving. Anderson is withdrawn. Brigade of Anderson has marched away from the battle with approximately 1,000 men. Okay, I'm guessing those are Confederates. Meanwhile, you can see Hoover or Bowens or whatever his brigade name is routed. We're going to move this brigade up. We're going to try and crush that guy on the flank. Meanwhile, more rebel troops here moving into this wood line. I think Grant is in a spot where his orders can't reach his other commanders, which would tell you why you shouldn't do exactly what I did to spread my army out, and now the enemy is between me and those orders. I'm guessing those orders are coming from Grant. Issue the damn orders, you jerk. Okay, they're firing. Status is engaged. I like when you issue the individual brigade orders, how much more quickly they arrive at the enemy than, or at your troops, than when you issue orders at the division level. That's kind of cool. Let's try and fast forward this and see what happens. So if I issue Grant orders to ride over here, the problem is I think, yeah, that causes the whole army to move, which I don't want to do. Why are they all moving to column formation? I think they all just did that. Whoops. God damn it. What have I done? I wrecked my army. Nope, don't do that. Come on, Prentiss, move. All right. It's good to know, lads. I think I just got one of my brigades routed. Maybe not. Oh, there goes Hayes. Or Hare. Hare is routed. But we just routed an enemy brigade. So that's good. So it looks like this division is nearly done on the rebel side. We may have to reform here at the end of the day. God damn it, Prentiss. Just move your damn army. Or your division. Someone! Urgh. This is me being too cute and creative. I guess that is fair. Like, you'd think you'd be like, maybe I should send someone along the long way, or along this roadway, right? Ride back here to this road and along here. This flank looks like it's secured apprentice. We've got a nice little thing there. So it's basically, this battle's been so far fought and won by McLaren's 4,200 men, Sherman's 4,600 men, and Hilbert's 5,900 men. Which the only positive is that it seems like only about half the Rebs have been... Oh, they're bringing the rest of the forces forward. So we've lost heavy casualties in 3 divisions. And in some sense, it feels a little like Shiloh, where a handful of divisions were doing the heavy lifting and the rest were just nowhere to be found. Lew Wallace specifically, I think it was. Where are those rebel guns going? They're not routed. They're just riding into my rear? Well, these guys are routed. But where are these guys going? They don't look routed. I don't think my army has any cavalry, by the way. All right, so they're bringing the other division forward. The bulk of this other division looks like it's pretty badly shot up. Sherman, he might only... Oh, no, that's just one brigade. So Sherman, the bulk of Sherman's troops look like they're out of action here. Same for McClernand. Holbert's division's in better shape. Okay, end of day. Darkness has fallen. Troops are resupplied. So some of my troops don't even need resupply. %, resupplied, but they're already at full supply, right? All right, let's do this. Let's redeploy. So I'm going to pull these divisions way to the south toward Grant. Take this turnpike. Oh, shit. Did I end the deployment phase? No, I didn't. All right, so we're going to form up... Oh, not what I wanted to do. We're going to form up 3 divisions here. We're going to put Prentice, Hilbert, and Wallace in position here. Then I'm going to pull in... It's kind of silly that I can pull in, like, divisions from the other side of the map. We'll have Lew Wallace protect that left flank. So now I've got a good 3-division line, and then I think we'll leave Sherman's troops off to the right here, perhaps to go after this other objective down to the right flank. And then we'll have McClernand's handful of troops that he's got left. McClernand is demoralized? The risk of desertion is high. Well, you, my lad, we'll just leave you back here in 4th round. You've lost a lot of men. All right. So our troops are all in line. Apparently I was stupid because the Confederates didn't redeploy, so now they have artillery in my rear. So McClernand, I guess you got a job, and it's going to be to crush this enemy artillery. How does that make sense? They need to work on that. If I'm really allowed to redeploy troops like that, the enemy shouldn't be allowed to be within a certain distance of me to start the morning, or at least I shouldn't be able to move troops into the rear. Because the Confederates didn't move their troops at all by the looks of it. Reserve Corps? 2,600 men? Oh, that's a commander. But there are artillery battalions in our rear. What you doing, Grant? All right, let's have... It's already rated as a major victory, by the way. So if you move over here... Not sure by what logic it's rated as a major victory, but it is rated as a major victory. So we'll go ahead and speed things up. All the way to the left side, the Confederate Army must be completely demoralized. All right, we'll move these 2 brigades to deal with the enemy artillery that's in our rear. I'd love to be able to take the artillery. I know how to tell them to aim, and I think you can tell them to charge, but I'd love to just be like, you know what? Take those guns! All right, looks like we've already broken several Confederate brigades to our front. Let's just fast forward here. They're not going to do anything versus this line, I don't think. Charge! Reed's brigade, I'm going to order you to charge. There they go, boys! Charge into the enemy guns! Do your worst. Well, you broke them, at least. Then they're going to retreat right through your lines. They need to work on that. At least they broke the enemy batteries. Like, there should be a capture mechanic. There obviously is a capture mechanic because the game references capturing units. In any event, the entire enemy army minus their artillery looks like it's now routed. Russell, Stewart, running. Forrest is the only one who doesn't seem to be routed. Which kind of makes sense. All right, we'll send 2 divisions off after him. All right, McLaren, your troops are doing well. Stewart might not be routed. It looks like his troops are still in good shape. Should we send the other Wallace to the last objectives down here? Guess he's going to take the roadway. Enemy artillery's coming up. We've got 3 brigades pointed in on Forrest, though. Engaged. This battle, as opposed to the tactical battles, which were a little bit bigger in size, but this battle seems like it's not too laggy. Okay, you can see Forrest's brigade is eating some eating some musketry. Honestly, let's offer a ceasefire. Let's fast forward to the end of the day. Tell me they withdraw. It's already a major victory. There we go. It looks like the enemy is withdrawn from the field as night has set in. So, major victory for us. 5,500 infantry out of 24,000 Confederate casualties, 6,500 enemy cavalry casualties. We lost none. I didn't even know where my cavalry was located. 55 of their 100 guns were lost. We did lose 28, but they lost over 50% of their guns. We lost slightly more than a quarter. So we lost 4,600 casualties versus 14,000 Confederates under the Army of Mississippi under General Albert Sidney Johnston. A major federal victory. The enemy is withdrawn in the night, and we have won the battle. So that should give us a victory on the field in the campaign, which should accomplish some of our objectives. I would imagine it'll also have a positive impact. The Battle of Murfreesboro ended on March 7th, 1862 with a federal minor... How's that a minor victory? You just told me it was a major victory. Is it a minor victory in the context of the campaign, but a major victory in the context of the tactical situation? I don't see how that would be in any scenario. I don't see how almost 6,000 Confederate casualties to less than 5,000 Federals and just completely trashing an entire Confederate army would be rated as a minor victory for the Federals. Duh. Well, I guess we got to see, you know, in any event, we got to see a tactical battle. Enemy national morale drops by 0.01%. That feels light. Maybe by the scale of 1864, that would not be a major victory. But we got to see a tactical battle in the campaign. We got to see the enemy is aggressively pushing us on multiple fronts, and we are countering. So maybe we should play as the Confederacy in a campaign and see how that goes. But I think we'll keep this campaign going and see how far we can get into it and how we can fight. It seemed pretty seamless between pulling up the battle and moving from the campaign map. So you can see a glorious victory at Pea Ridge. So apparently we also won a victory at Pea Ridge. Support for the rebel cause wavers. Federal forces triumphant. So what's this say? I can't read this. The Battle of Pea Ridge has ended with the Army of the West retreating in panic. My command has earned us a remarkable strategic victory with the enemy forced to give ground. The enemy has reportedly suffered a total of 173 men, thereof 19 killed and captured. What? Their morale is believed to be eager. Our casualties are 251 men with 29 killed, 28 missing, the rest wounded. Morale is eager. The supply situation is critical. We have captured 39 and 0 from the battlefield. Okay. In any event, the Army of the West wins a victory against the Army of the Southwest wins a victory against the Army of the West. So that's good. So we have 2 victories here. We issued $10 million of bonds. We'll get into the economic situation later, but at least Curtis won a victory with the Army of the Southwest. Grant won a victory against Albert Sidney Johnston in Tennessee. Are we still fighting another battle against them? So the ferry's important because we're on the wrong side of the river to fight the First Corps. Looks like they're still moving the rest of their force forward, so we might be fighting another battle here before too long. Yeah, it looks like they're still besieging our troops to the west of Fort Donaldson, near Fort Henry. So they're still continuing their assault after that reverse. Meanwhile, the Army of East Tennessee is moving. I wonder if they're going to link up with Jackson somewhere around here. But I would also imagine we're about to fight a major battle in Virginia, where we've really sort of concentrated a lot of troops. No, actually, it looks like they pulled back from Alexandria. As we brought our corps south, they must have withdrawn in haste, which seems like an intelligent thing to do. But in any event, I'm going to... Can we save? Well, I'm guessing it'll pick up where we left off, right? Let's get rid of that. Let's exit here. We'll go back to the main menu. Yes, you can continue the game later. Okay, so it looks like there is a continue option, which I'm going to guess is going to continue the campaign. Yep, March 6, 1862. So it is going to continue the campaign for us in our next video. This was a little bit longer than I planned to do, but we got sucked into a battle that seemed manageable, and we won it. So there was the first example of a tactical battle in the strategic campaign. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more of the 1862 campaign, and look for a live stream tonight around 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time of We the People. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer, once again saying thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.